NASA was founded in 1958 as an independent agency for aeronautics and aerospace research. As part of their research, their mission was to explore the universe to understand the science behind our existence and map out all the threats that endanger our planet. NASA, along with many other space agencies, have successfully been able to explore our solar system, but the one place nobody has been is the Sun. The Sun is the star that created everything in our solar system. The Sun provides the Earth with the necessary light and heat we need to live, but it also is the source of many dangerous threats. In order to study and understand the threats created by the Sun, NASA had the goal of sending a spacecraft to the Sun to collect data nobody has ever been able to collect before.
The Parker Space Probe was the answer to the questions we still have about the Sun, named after Eugene Parker, who discovered the solar winds. The Parker Solar Probe is traveling 19 million miles from Earth to the Sun's atmosphere into the corona. Sending a spacecraft to the Sun was deemed impossible, and the idea of studying the Sun in depth has been planned for 60 years.
The Sun is still a mystery. It is uncharted territory, which is why the Parker Solar Probe mission is so monumental. This mission is to solve the mysteries of our Sun. 195 years ago, in 1958, the largest solar flare on record happened. This solar flare caused a geomagnetic storm, which means that the Earth's magnetic field is affected. The solar flare coincidentally happened at the same moment amateur astronomer Richard Carrington was observing the Sun's sunspots. This led to the naming of this solar flare the Carrington event. Telephone lines sparked, compasses were affected, and the aurora could be seen all the way from Cuba. Events like this shake the Earth's magnetic field, and in order to mitigate the effects of these solar bombardments, we need to collect scientific data. The danger of our Sun, such as radiation and particles from the Sun, are much more dangerous when there are solar flares. The Sun's weather is already being studied 24/7 by NASA, but the data that the Parker Solar Probe can collect from entering the Sun's corona and going closer to the Sun than anyone has gotten before will help scientists create better forecasts.
The Parker Solar Probe has been in the making for years. To get this close to a star, NASA needed to use the best technology in order to avoid the destruction of the probe. The Sun's surface is about 6,000 to 7,000 degrees, but the corona's temperatures can reach up into the millions of degrees. To avoid it from melting, the team of NASA had to discover the materials that it would take for the probe to withstand the heat of the Sun. The Parker Solar Probe is no bigger than the size of a car, but it is still a $1.5 billion mission. It weighs 1,500 pounds, but in order to travel the 19 million miles to the Sun, it needed to be launched with the Delta IV Heavy rocket. The Delta IV Heavy has had 9 successful missions, with the Parker Solar Probe being its 8th. It launched out of Cape Canaveral on August 12, 2018. As it travels 68,000 miles per hour towards the Sun, in order to get into the orbit NASA has planned for, it must fly by Venus. In doing so, the planet's gravity will send it on its designated path.
The probe uses telemetry to talk to mission control. In order to know what is happening with the probe, it sends telemetry signals to NASA's mission control, and that way they are able to track it and get data from it. The Parker Solar Probe has equipment on it that it uses to collect this data. The antennas capture data about magnetic fields. The camera is used to capture the solar winds as it flies through it. The analyzers capture high-speed particles as they accelerate into space. These things are all protected by the heat shield. The heat shield on the probe is able to keep the main body cool so that the equipment can work in normal temperatures. The only piece of equipment that is not protected by the heat shield is the solar probe cup. This cup measures the particles' speeds and temperatures as they move away from the Sun. In order for this cup to be used on the probe, NASA had to test it in high temperatures. The temperatures the solar cup was tested in reached about 3,000 degrees Celsius, but it will face temperatures up to 15,000 degrees Celsius in the sun's atmosphere.
The Parker Solar Probe's mission will last 7 years. Over those 7 years, it will make 24 orbits around the sun, with each orbit getting closer and closer. On October 5th, 2018, the Parker Solar Probe reached its first destination. At this point, it is traveling over 150,000 miles per hour, making it the fastest ever human-made object. As the Parker Solar Probe continues to orbit around the sun and collect data about the sun's atmosphere, properties, and threats that it poses to us on Earth, hopefully we will receive answers about the last region of the solar system to be explored by spacecraft.